Let's be honest, when it comes to horror, you're either in or you're out. There is no in between. The love for the horror genre dates back over a century to the earliest horror films that would inspire generations into creating the games we are all so fond of today. Now with spooky season just around the corner, people all over the world are gearing up for the month of October with scary movie nights and, more importantly, horror games. While everyone else is counting down the days to All Hallows Eve 2022, we're looking ahead and counting down the top 10 most anticipated horror games of 2023. Before we get to the list, I have to put in my disclaimer that we're still a few months away from 2023, and as we all know, some release dates and timelines could very well change. Starting off with number 10, we have Grey Hill Incident. Described as a classic alien invasion survival horror game with some serious science vibes. Developed and published by indie studio Refugium Games, the game is expected to release the first half of 2023 for PC, available on Steam.
Ryan, this is an absolute invasion. Do you know what that means? We'll abduct everyone in the village. Humans, animals, and every little insect. We'll take samples of them, making experiments on everyone. This is an extraterrestrial investigation.
Help, Ryan! Oh, no, windows!
Brandon, hang on!
At number 9, we have Routine, a sci-fi horror game set on a supposedly abandoned lunar base taking heavy style influence from the 80s. What starts off as curious exploration quickly turns to running for your life from evil murder robots. Developed by indie game company Lunar Software and published by Raw Fury, Routine is currently expected to release sometime in 2023 for PC, Xbox Series X and S, and Xbox One. Moving on to number 8 is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Inspired by the film and based on true events, Texas Chainsaw puts us right in the action of this classic horror story. In a quest to find her missing sister Maria, Ana Flores and friends end up in a living nightmare in the heart of rural Texas. Developed by Sumo Digital and Gun Interactive, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre is expected to launch sometime in 2023 for PC, Xbox Series X and S, Xbox One, and PlayStation 4 and 5. Next up with number 7 is Alan Wake 2, the long-awaited sequel to Alan Wake. Alan Wake 2 takes a different approach to the game. According to creative director Sam Lake, they're stepping up the horror tones of the game much more than its predecessor. He goes on to note, "We are diving deeper than ever into the ocean of darkness." Alan Wake 2 is currently slated for a 2023 debut and will be available on PC, Xbox Series X and S, and PlayStation 5.
This story will eat you alive. This story is a monster. And monsters wear many faces.
Coming up on number 6 is Ill. Possibly the most gruesome game on this list, Ill looks to deliver quite a horrific story. Players will have to uncover what supernatural source is creating and controlling the many monsters you'll encounter in this survival horror gore fest. Developed by Team Clout, Ill is currently slated for 2023 on PC, but I wouldn't be surprised if the date changes and platforms are expanded.
Kids screaming in the crib.
That's what I thought.
Some Bob Hopper didn't know him either.
Bob's got other things to do right here. It's news time.
Jesus!
They're spreading all around me. My world's so bright, it's hard to breathe, but that's alright. Hush.
Hello?
Rolling in at number 5 is Alone in the Dark. Considered by some to be the grandfather of horror games, Alone in the Dark returns to New Orleans in the 1920s with an all-new original story by Mikkel Hedberg. Some of Hedberg's notable work include titles such as Soma and Amnesia: The Dark Descent. Hopefully fans don't have to wait too long, with Alone in the Dark currently set to release sometime in 2023 for PC, Xbox Series X, and PlayStation 5.
Shadow isn't cursed or blessed. It's a battleground.
Maybe the dark man just likes it when you suffer.
Have you ever talked to a doctor about your condition?
This is madness!
Fall on your knees. Wear the mask. Praise his name.
Welcome to the madhouse, detective.
Number 4 on our list is Stalker 2, Heart of Chernobyl. The very long-awaited follow-up in the Stalker franchise, Heart of Chernobyl will be the 4th game of the series. This will be the first release for Stalker in 14 years, with the last being in 2009. Built on Unreal Engine 5, Heart of Chernobyl looks to deliver promising eye candy and plenty of survival horror goodness fans have been waiting for. Developed and published by none other than the original creators GSC Game World, Stalker 2, Heart of Chernobyl is scheduled to land on PC and Xbox Series X and S sometime in 2023.
As the head of the Scientific Institute for Research of the Chernobyl area, or CERN for short, I believe the wonders that we will bring to the world far outweigh the potential risks.
How big are these risks exactly?
The zone reveals a whole new world. We can stick with the old one, fearing change. But tell me, do you want our descendants to remember us as cowards? Or as those who dared to venture forward to a new, better humanity?
The injured were evacuated. I remind our listeners that a similar incident happened in our region quite recently, ruining homes and livelihoods.
Coming in at number 3 on our list is Layers of Fears. Bloober Team has upped the ante in the horror genre with the latest sequel in the Layers of Fear series by claiming this installment as Horror Reimagined. Heavily utilizing features of Unreal Engine 5 such as Lumen to create an incredibly immersive atmosphere, and with support for 4K resolution, fans are sure to find themselves quivering in and out of the game. Layers of Fears is currently scheduled to release early in 2023 for PC, Xbox Series X and S, and PlayStation 5.
My fear, pain, and hatred, the horror of my loneliness, and it is mine to tell.
Now I see it. All this misery, all this suffering. There was no other way.
You really shouldn't.
Sliding in at number 2 is Resident Evil 4 Remake. The Resident Evil franchise never seems to disappoint, and fans are chomping at the bit to get their hands on one of the most beloved releases of the series once again. The story will be reimagined from the ground up, but fans should worry not, as boss fights and iconic characters will be returning. Coming to PC, Xbox Series X and S, and PlayStation 5 on March 24th, 2023.
Guess you, me, picked the wrong spot to vacation, eh?
You will receive our most sacred body. It begins now.
If I could just forget what happened that night. The pain. Even for a second. This time, it can be different. It has to.
Before we move on to number 1, be sure to subscribe to the channel and ring the bell to turn on notifications and be notified when new videos are available. Now, topping the list at number 1, we have Dead Space. I know, how can a remake top the list? But let's be honest, whenever people start discussing the horror genre and scary games, the question always comes up. Yeah, but have you ever played Dead Space? As if it's the sole benchmark for horror games. Some have even argued that Dead Space may be one of the greatest video games of all time. With the kind of track record this series has and the fandom around it, I think it's fair to say this is the most anticipated game of the horror genre for 2023. Dead Space hit storefronts on January 27, 2023 for PC, Xbox Series X and S, and PlayStation 5.